I got sent a video by one of the fellas that I've been training. A little bit of pad work, a little bit of sparring. The group chat. The group chat bestowed it on me to blindly react to a video called Handsome Men's Game, which I know nothing about. It sounds like appealing to your mother. We're going to do a little bit of a blind reaction here, as I have been bestowed with this incredible burden. So let's see.
In this video, I want to talk about some of the expectations that are placed.
Still ain't got no audio. I always unplug all this stuff. There we go.
In this video, I want to talk about some of the expectations that are placed on you as a handsome man. And even though the title of these videos are aimed at guys that are considered to be handsome and purely physically attractive, a lot of these principles extend to guys who are considered attractive in general. What I mean by that is a guy may not necessarily be a GQ model, but he's got an attractive personality, or he's the popular guy at work or in school. Or maybe a guy is the opposite and has more of a mysterious vibe to him, and women find him attractive for that reason.
He's a Sigma male. I don't really think that as a man, beyond going to the gym, really beyond lifting weight, that's probably the maximum attention you should pay to how you look. I think that's pretty much it. Weightlifting is an anti-aging superpower, men and women included. This isn't even if you want to be a good-looking male. This is just someone that if you're man or woman, you want to slow down the aging process, you lift weight. That's it.
Find guys attractive for a lot of reasons, but for this video, I'm going to be focusing more on the type of guy that is simply physically attractive and considered handsome. But just keep in mind that these videos apply to more than just that archetype of man. So what prompted me to make this video?
Male archetype. Is he talking about the Carl Jung male archetype, or is this guy already going off of the 48 Laws of Power, Robert Greene's book, Dark Psychology, Jordan Peterson? How to manipulate with dark psychology. How to make her not forget about you. She's riding another dick. She's fucking cowgirling on another dick. She's comparing hand sizes with her new boyfriend, and you're worried about how to use dark psychology to manipulate her and get her back.
Is a recurring theme I've seen over the last few months doing one-on-one calls with guys. I've noticed that
one-on-one
guys
calls
are getting some of the foundational elements of physical self-improvement down, like hitting the gym consistently and working on different aspects of their looks in general. And that's all good, but I've noticed that internal game tends to lag behind, which is to be expected because it takes much longer to shift your internal state and mental frameworks than it does to drop 10 pounds of fat or get a new haircut. But more,
if you're trying to attack how you appear to people with this level of if you're trying to reinvent how you appeal to people with this, how you appear with this level of intentionality, like focusing on how you're manifesting your aura is different and how you're received by women, people are going to know. Women aren't dumb. Women have a uniquely feminine wisdom, and they're, even if you hit all the marks and you have a perfect presentation, they're going to sniff out that you're a loser. If you're a loser. And a loser in the sense of pussy wants extremes. Pussy wants to live in a mansion, or pussy wants to sleep in a tent. Pussy wants a billionaire, or pussy wants an alcoholic skateboarder, criminal, drug dealer. As long as you're in that 80% of men, you could spend your whole life working on how you're appearing. The most attention I've ever gotten from women or people in general walking in somewhere is when I've been the least receptive, most bothered, most ragged. I look like this. The most attention I've ever gotten is when I walk out with my hair a fucking mess. I'm disheveled, I'm dirty, I'm sweaty from the day. I've been to the gym and haven't even bothered to shower. I'm bothered about something. Just been dealing with bullshit all day. Been doing what I want, but women aren't really attracted to a happy looking guy. And this guy's physiognomy, I'm sure he's a sweetheart. I'm sure he's a nice guy. And pay attention to that one. I'm sure he's a nice guy. This physiognomy, he was raised by mommy, right? He's got his watch on. He's got his little popped collar. He's got, look at that haircut. He looks like a brand new baby boy. He looks like a baby boy with that fucking hairline and that haircut. Dude, you'd look more masculine being bald. You look like DreamWorks would animate a baby. No shade on you, though. I'm sure you're a nice guy. But you look like DreamWorks would animate a baby.
Or specifically, a part of internal game I've noticed lacking is the idea of congruence and being aware of how you look as a man. To illustrate this idea, I want you to picture
being aware of how you look as a man. Being aware of how you look as a man. Like, that's important. Like, being pretty is important. Being aware of how you look as a man. I'm struggling to even find a way to joke about how terrible that advice is. Being aware of how you look as a man. Everything comes down to momentum. If your momentum is bad in your life, you have to change it. You have to shake it up. If you're depressed, you have to get active. Being aware of how you look as a man.
Guy who's 6'5", good looking and jacked.
There
Now picture that same guy sending texts with a bunch of cry emojis saying I miss you baby, or being very robotic and dry when a girl is trying to flirt or sexualize the conversation herself. The immediate problem with this should be obvious when it's laid out like that, but since internal game and internal states in general typically lag behind physical improvements, I've noticed that
internal game, am I going fucking insane? Internal game, you're flirting with yourself? Jesus.
Some guys are unaware of this disconnect between their appearance and their behavior. They look like an attractive masculine guy on the outside, but then once the girl gets into the mix with them, they discover that the guy's behavior is different from how he looks. And this is a huge problem. But before I go on, a quick Google search on the word congruence gives one definition that says, congruence means that you express yourself in a way that matches your true feelings and thoughts. And for the sake of dating and attraction, I would also add that it means aligning your appearance with your behavior. There should be a consistency.
Dude. Okay, let's get through more of this before I really start ranting about it.
There to some degree. Now, let me also be clear about something else I've said. I've said before in other videos that you have to be aware of how intimidating you can be if you're an attractive guy, and you will often have to be
if you're tall. You need to be worried about how intimidating you are if you're tall. If you're a lot bigger than the woman that you're talking to, if you have a huge presence, that's the one thing. There's a lot of talk about this whole people respect height thing. Height awareness is a thing. It does matter being tall, but tall guys have a separate amount of problems that they got to deal with. Have you noticed that whenever a girl is dating a really tall guy, he's usually always goofy looking? He got big old ears, or he's got a big dumb nose, or his teeth are all kind of jagged. He's got a fucking snaggle tooth. He wears his hat and he looks like someone just came and put a big baseball hat on him. The guys that I've seen with the hottest girlfriends are usually tall and goofy looking. because you kind of have to be. If you're tall and muscular and you're a bouncer and you're in an environment where girls are drunk and they have to say hi to you, that's different. But tall guys have to be aware of intimidation or how intimidating they look. If you're 5'9" or shorter, if you're the national average height, you don't really need to worry that much about being intimidating.
The one to approach people to show a warmer, friendlier side to dispel some of the assumptions that people have of you. For example, some people will think you're arrogant just because you're good looking. So by being the one to break the...
Okay, I have to say it. I have to stop at this point. I'm not calling this guy ugly by any means. But if someone were going to lecture me for 10 minutes about being a good-looking guy, I could pick this guy out of a box. I could go to Walmart and run into this guy. I could go to I see 100 of these guys walking into Target. I meet these guys in the sauna at my commercial gym. There is nothing. Women don't even notice an attractive guy. Even if you're hot, even if you've got an attractive face and a good jawline and you're naturally good looking, women don't notice men. So you have to get out of that mindset that even if you're attractive, that women really give a shit, or if they, again, if they're drunk or they're 40 or they're heavyset, which I'm down with, by the way, then maybe they'll notice you. But the vast majority of women wouldn't even bat an eye at a guy walking in who looked like this. So...
the ice with them and have a down-to-earth conversation, you'll surprise them by showing that you aren't the guy that they thought you were. But at the same time, and I'm going to do my best to articulate this concept because it is simultaneously true with what I just said, you have to be aware of what women expect of you based on your appearance and presentation. And if
no, you don't.
you don't align with that presentation, it is a turnoff and a letdown. If you're a tatted up, good looking dude who looks like he gets girls all the time and could knock out somebody in a fight, the last thing you want to do is emasculate yourself by texting or talking in a way that contradicts your appearance. You have to understand that a woman who comes out on a date with you or drives 40 miles to come to your house is coming to see you because she's attracted to the idea of who you are. She has created an image of you in her mind based off the data
who gives this much of a fuck about what anyone thinks of you? Man, woman, your boss, people that you run in on the street, the other people in the bar. I couldn't imagine giving this much of a fuck about how anyone perceives you. No one knows anything about you. You exist as 100 different iterations and versions of yourself at any one time in people's mind. The antithesis to this information is just be where your fucking feet are at. Just be present. Have a good time.
She has at her disposal, which could simply be your appearance or your social media profile, or the fact that you seemed like a cool guy the night she met you at a bar. If you act in a way that is
And by the way, women decide in the first 15 seconds of meeting you who they think you are, and if they think you're relationship material, or if you're someone that they date, or if you're someone that they'd fuck. Women decide that in the first 15 seconds. You could be chasing them. You could make mistakes. Sometimes the best thing that you can do for yourself is chase a woman away. Sometimes the best thing that you could do for yourself, for your health, your integrity, and the woman that you're talking to is chase her away. But women decide in the first 15 seconds of meeting you if they're interested in you in any capacity.
contradictory to that image that she has in her head, which would commonly be a more feminine way, or the type of guy that can't read the situation and doesn't make any moves, or he's just dry, then you pop the bubble of that idea in her mind and it kills the attraction. You have to understand that as an attractive guy, you're assumed to be a guy that is successful with women by default. Even if you're actually terrible with women, just by looking like a guy who gets female attention, you're assumed to be a guy that gets women and knows what to do when he's got a woman in his presence. So again, if you contradict that assumption, it's a huge turnoff. If we turn the tables, it would be like seeing a beautiful woman while you're out. She's got the pretty face, the body's on point, everything's looking good. And then you take her home and she takes off the makeup, the high heels, the push-up bra, and looks like a completely different human in a bad way. The image you had of her in your mind and in front of you ended up being completely different than who she actually is. So you'd feel an internal letdown to some degree. Now, maybe she's still cute enough and a cool girl to keep around even after catfishing you. But with women, this is amplified even more when it comes to behavior not aligning with who the man appears to be. It's more of a deal breaker because it's going to trigger a deeper internal disgust that she can't help. And that doesn't mean it's going to be a conscious thought of, oh, wow, this guy's so gross because he isn't congruent. It's more that she will lose attraction for you and you'll seem less interesting, or she will feel disappointed, like, he's just not the guy I thought he was. It's like when you hear women say that a guy was cute until he opened his mouth. It's the same exact concept.
I'm truthfully, I don't think I can finish this. I thought I was going to react to the whole thing. I thought I was going to watch the video through. I don't think I can even finish this. In the first 30 seconds, in the first 15 seconds of this thing, I already knew it's too deep. This is too deep to be digging for dating advice, for talking to women. They're not going to notice you. Just fucking talk to them. And talk to the hottest girl you see, like once a day, every day. If you're at the gym, I was at a commercial gym and the place is fucking packed. The gym should be like an active nightclub, but it's not. Worrying this much about how you're perceived, this is a feminine quality. This guy is encouraging you with his 48 laws of power, dark psychology bullshit, is encouraging you to obsess over your appearance and how you're perceived. It's a feminine quality to do that. This is the least masculine thing that I could imagine telling young guys who are lonely, who want to meet and gain confidence in any way. I don't think I can finish this, to be honest with you. I think I can finish my cigarette. My joke cigarette. This is a joke cigarette, by the way. This isn't real. Stay away from drugs. Stay away from nicotine. Don't smoke. Take care of your health. This is a gag cigarette. You know, it's one of those bubblegum cigarettes that you can get at the candy store. It's a joke cigarette. It's a dramatic prop. I'm going to leave him on the screen. We're going to keep looking at this guy. I don't think there's anything. I really don't. Again, the first 15 seconds of the advice that he was giving let me know that there was nothing else interesting that was going to be happening for the rest of the video. And I want to see how many views this has. He's got almost 30,000 subscribers. It's a bad sign. Not that many views. Okay, only 3,000. But this is all terrible advice. Pussy wants extremes. If you're this boring in the first 15 seconds that a girl's meeting you, then no matter how much you psychologize and try to manipulate and be careful, you're playing chess with this girl with the fat ass that you're talking to at the gym, then yeah, play chess. Play chess with the girl at the gym. Try to make her see you more than anything as a sap. This is, for lack of a better term, a loser mentality. I can't finish that. Hey, listen, the information there, that was pretty rich, all things considered. You ever had a piece of chocolate cake that you started digging into, Whole Foods or something, and you were like, I don't think I can finish that. That's pretty rich. That's pretty chocolatey. That's how I feel about that guy's advice. Well, thanks for coming. I'm going to go ahead and call this here. I really don't think there's anything else to say besides don't take advice from blue-collar workers about getting women. Don't take advice from a guy who's on LinkedIn about dating advice or meeting women. Simple as is, bruv. Simple, bruv. Just don't. You don't, bruv. You don't do it, bruv.